good man, may I ascertain the information to whom you may be?
Why, I'm Stephen Thorne Austin, from the newly created state of Texas. Nice to meet your acquaintance.
Why, the pleasure is all mine. And may I add, why, I happen to be the 4th President of the United States. Wink. Do you happen to know who that may be?
I might know who you are.
As you should. Why, I am James Madison. Nice to meet you. And while we're here, take a seat, because fate brought us together with these papers in our hands. And obviously, we're meant to discuss something, our importance to the people. Now, what is your importance to the people?
Texans petitioned the government for the reopening of immigration, statehood for Texas, and exemption from the tariff. I sent to present these positions to the Mexican authorities. My presentation succeeded because I persuaded them to repeal the immigration law, and I got them to consider reforms for the administrations of Texas. I traveled to New Orleans to successfully obtain loans and volunteers, fit out warships, arrange credit for ammunition and equipment. Many people thought that Texas should become independent from Mexico. If it became independent and part of the United States, it would calm the anger of the people about being under the control of the Mexican national government. I tried to gain independence from Texas by creating a form of self-government. I also tried to get consent from the Mexican government by the attempts for self-government failed. The Texan Revolution broke out in October 1835. I participated in the Texas Revolution because I cared about Texas's well-being more than the relationship with Mexico. The revolution was caused by the Texans' disapproval of the Mexican national government having so much power over the state of Texas. During the Battle of San Jacinto, the Texas Army defeated the troops of Santa Anna. Texas ended up winning their independence in the Battle of San Jacinto. I became the Texas envoy to the United States, which better fit my abilities. I am the most influential voice of Texas. I am also a very persuasive person, which really helped me succeed in both colonizing Texas and fixing mistakes in government, both before and after we won our independence. My institution of slavery has made Texas the great and prosperous state that it is today. Through politics, working with the Mexican and American governments, and during revolutions and the like, I have helped this state obtain its independence, and for that I am proud. That's my point of influence. I do believe I have heard of you. Perhaps you can share with me what your fine influence has been for these great people of the United States.
Why, thank you, my good man. Why, as president, I have done many things, but as you are the father of Texas, I happen to be the father of the Constitution. And, well, how this started, why, at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, during the sweet month of May, during 1787, I represented the state of Virginia and happened to be the chief recorder of information. Now, as influential as the Constitution had been, it needed more reinforcement, in which the friends of mine, John Jay, and you may have heard of him, Alexander Hamilton, wrote 85 essays for the New York newspapers to convince the people, and why these were known as the Federalist Papers, and I happened to write 29 of them. No big deal. And in the strive to further strengthen the Constitution, to find a good equilibrium between the power of the people and the government, as well as enlist the God-given rights all men should have, why, I wrote the Bill of Rights. Originally there were 19, but Of course, it's dwindled down to 10 because some people don't understand what some rights should be, but whatever, that's just my opinion. But either or, concerning these God-given rights, why, all men should have, what about slavery? What do you think of that?
Well, when it comes to slavery, I side with the Anglo-American slaveholders. When I was recognized as heir of my father's land grant, I gave 80 acres of land to every settler for each enslaved person they brought to the colony. This gave the settlers motivation to bring many slaves with them so that they could obtain more land and build plantations. My motivation, however, was purely economic. Dollar bills, y'all! Slavery is necessary in Texas for our valuable commodity, cotton, to grow on our vast fertile lands. I fought Mexico's effort to ban slavery because I felt that Texas wouldn't be able to prosper without slaves. I continue to do everything I possibly can to make sure that slaves survive in the state of Texas. I continue to do everything I demand that slaves owners should be compensated if they give up their personal slaves to work in our fields. I thought the issue of slavery in Texas had been settled. Then Mexico tried to abolish slavery a second time. To combat this, I allowed the farmers to free their slaves. But then the farmers had to sign their slaves into 99 years of indentured servitude. Since we are a slave-owning state, it was more difficult to be admitted into the United States. The politicians weren't sure if admitting another slave state would be the best idea, since they were already having issues with the United States government concerning slavery. What are your thoughts on slavery?
And just as you said, that makes this such a slippery slope. I understand. I was born and raised on a Virginian plantation with at least 100 slaves. I understand the economic prosperity, why the Southerners need it so much. But there is a moral inequity in it, and I disagree. I believe all people in a way inherently have rights. And though I don't really want to do anything about it because as a young United States, most Southerners feel one way and most Northerners feel another. And I feel like that would tear our nation apart, cause a civil war. But anywho, that would never happen because we'll always be careful about it. And eventually they'll see through that all men should have rights, just as I put broad and clear within the Constitution. And it's not like I didn't do anything. I made them have 3/5 of a vote. Sure, it's not a full vote as they should have, but not enough to make people mad, but just enough to give them some rights, But besides that, that's all I can say really for now, without giving a 2-hour rant.
You truly are an amazing gentleman. One can only hope to achieve what you have aspired to. I must tell you that I have noticed that gentleman across the room. He has been staring at us the entire time we've been talking. Excuse me, sir? Might you share with us why you have been summoned as we are?